Hello, everybody. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching Only Murders in the Building, Season 3, Episode 3, Grab Your Hankies. We are very low energy today.
Yes. Sorry in advance.
We are going to get in and out of this. We're going to do the bare minimum today.
Yeah.
And apologies. We went out last night. And we got a little drinky drunk.
Yep.
Okay. So, this was a sweet episode. I especially liked the ending.
Me too.
Basically, we've got a couple of things going on. We did get Jesse Williams back in this episode, thankfully, because I was like, what's the point of Jesse Williams if we're not going to see his beautiful face every week?
Right.
And so he basically is he and Mabel both are like sneaking into Ben's penthouse together, or like at the same time, both looking for clues, but like Tubbert is looking for something specific, which is like a GoPro type of camera.
Yeah.
It was like a small little thing.
I thought it was like a memory thing.
But it was on like a weird wire, so I thought it was like an actual camera. Like a mini camera.
I don't know.
Regardless, he was looking for footage because Ben had grabbed it out of his hand, but it was still recording. And so he thought that whatever happened in the dressing room before he went on stage would have been recorded. And then Mabel was just looking for any kind of clues. And actually, so that I would call this their meet cute.
Yeah.
Because they get trapped in an armoire when, what's his brother's name? Dickie comes into the apartment, also like starting to pack stuff up and try to get out of there.
Breaking a lamp in the process.
Well, he gets really mad and sort of sad and upset.
Yeah.
So he does also break a lamp, but they end up having this conversation where he like sort of insults, but also compliments the podcast because he's listened to it. And then he tells this really weird, horrifying story about studying elephants in Botswana and how he like was watching this baby elephant just sort of like sink into the mud. And he ends up having to come clean later that he didn't do anything and he wouldn't have either. I mean, he's a documentarian. You're not really supposed to interfere.
I would be horrible at that job.
No, I couldn't do it. Not for animals, for sure.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
But even like for people too, yeah. I feel like if someone was about to embarrass themselves, I'd be like, oh, don't do that.
Yeah.
Stop it. No.
Wait.
Yeah.
So yeah, he does admit later that he wouldn't have done anything, but that the elephant's mother came and saved him from the mud. But I think that's sort of also what led him to decide to go in on it together with Mabel to like, because he can do something to help this time, even though he technically isn't supposed to. And I kind of liked that.
Me too.
Yeah. So I like the two of them, especially because Charles is still in the play and Oliver has banned Mabel from like rehearsals.
Yeah.
So I like that she's got this new partner in crime. I think that's fun.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Meanwhile, Charles is sort of trying to help Mabel, but because he has to go to rehearsals, he can't spend like a lot of time with her. So his main thrust in this episode is that he's trying to get everyone's hankies.
Must get the hanky.
Must get the hankies.
I feel like that was just his mantra in his head the entire time.
And he was like, I'll think up some cool way to like do it. And then he literally just walks up to all of them and is like, wouldn't it be neat if you all gave me your hankies and I made a quilt or something? It's just very silly. So yeah, like I said, that is his main deal in this episode is trying to get the hankies. And then Oliver is sort of losing it, trying to turn the show into a musical. I'm not 100% sure why he went that direction, like musical specifically.
I don't know.
And now there's three triplet babies instead of just like one baby.
And crabmen that are multiplying.
That are breeding for some reason. Yeah. I loved that scene in Charles's apartment where Kimber and I think Bobo and I don't remember Jonathan, where they were all talking about like, I just don't get it anymore.
Yeah.
Like what's the actual, like, what are we doing here actually on this show? Yeah, just very interesting. And then Ashley Park as Kimber, she got a nice little moment too, where she was like, I've been kind of numb about the whole thing, but you know, I don't know, it felt kind of like also self-serving. And then given what we get at the end of the episode,
she was making hella crazy eyes
at LORETTA.
So and we also got her voiceover talking
yes,
about
we did get Kimber's voiceover.
Yeah, talking about what happens if someone is shining brighter and they need to be snuffed out.
Yeah.
Too obvious.
I think so too. I think it's too obvious as well. Like the same as you thought with Loretta, where at first you were like, I clocked her immediately. And also it's Meryl Streep. So you're like, well, but
oh, she's still a suspect.
Well, she's still a suspect for sure. I just don't think she's the most obvious suspect. I think if someone else dies, then she will be. Because if she's trying to get out of this contract so that she can go do that Grey's Anatomy spinoff. Was it called like Family on Fire or something?
Grey's Anatomy Family Burn Unit.
Yeah, okay.
I think. No, I still think that she's kind of fishy.
She's definitely still fishy. I think for me, it's almost Dickie is the most.
And I feel like that's too obvious too.
Too obvious too.
Because for me, I mean, we have kind of like the obvious part of it where she's been wanting this for so long, and then, you know, I don't know, like her killing Ben seems kind of like ridiculous because it's like you just ruined the show. But if they were feuding and they're like she had figured out a way to kind of like weasel her way like out of it, then it'd be like, well, it doesn't matter because I'm the true star of the show anyway. But then I think that she is so desperate to keep what she has that she just wants to go forward and no matter which way.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, so like we said, Oliver.
Because, sorry, I just had a thought.
Okay.
If she got rid of Ben, Dickie could represent her.
Sure.
Because Dickie knows how to work the system. So at this point, she's got like this maybe might not go on, maybe will go on, but then she can have Dickie kind of advocating for her in LA or whatever. So,
which also then though does backfire on her because as Oliver points out, she is under contract with this play.
Yes.
And so she cannot leave and go to California.
And I think that surprised her because I think she thought that because her and Oliver make hard eyes at each other, she'd be like, well, he'd obviously want me to go.
Interesting. I think she underestimated his romanticism as well.
Probably.
He has a very romantic worldview.
Yes.
Where it's like all he wants is to make theater and like you make things more beautiful and make things more like over the top, and he loves love and stuff. And so that was a miscalculation. If that's the deal, that was a miscalculation on her part.
Yeah. I think that she created a lot of avenues for herself.
Okay.
Because this probably feels like to her last opportunity.
Yeah. And after so long.
Yeah.
So, basically then the producers tell Oliver that if they're going to do a musical, it needs a big show-stopping number, like it always does. And that monologue about Donna from Duluth or Denise from Duluth or whatever.
Listen, Duluth is delightful.
Yeah.
It's
but also
great.
Hilarious.
But also very on point.
Yeah. So funny.
I've met Donna from Duluth. She is very that.
Yeah. It was hysterical. It was such a takedown and it was so funny. And so they're working on songs. He can't really get anything super going because he's like very stressed out. And then Loretta does come see him and they like are sitting at the piano and they start to do like a lullaby. And he's like, well, I can't do that because it's not flashy enough. Which is, I mean, I see it and also I'm like, but they specifically told you they want to see Oliver Putnam. This isn't Oliver Putnam. Like, that's what you are. This thing. So anyway, they end up showing it, and her name is Donna, right? The mom.
Yes.
Producer Donna. She's like, that was a really beautiful song, but no, like we are not going to do this. And then her son Cliff is like, no, we're doing it.
It was great.
And then tells a really disgusting story about how he was breastfeeding till he was 8. Look, live your life.
Not that way.
That's too old.
Yeah. When they, I forget who said this to me, but it was like when the child starts asking for it
with words,
they're too old.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I agree.
Yeah.
I big time agree.
For sure. Regardless, Clifford is like, we're doing the musical. That's final. And I loved that.
Yeah.
He was like, we're going to do it. So, and then after the song, everybody on the cast also is like wrapped back in.
I was
They're
ready
very
to buy my
excited.
ticket.
Yeah.
So that hooked me.
Yeah.
So
good. I liked
it was very good.
So we also do see the footage of Ben in his dressing room. My husband thinks that he is delivering that speech about you'll ruin me, all of this, to a plate of cookies.
I agree.
Yeah, I tend to agree as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because someone could have given him the cookies, and if they were poisoned, that would have caused his first death.
Yep.
So I'm like, if it's at this point, if it's not a plate of cookies, I'm going to be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that was largely it. It was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I think we missed a couple of things in the other 2 episodes where Ben is staying in Amy Schumer's apartment.
Yes.
And he's redecorated it. Mabel's obsessed with it. I think it looked better when Amy Schumer lived there.
I 100% agree with you.
And what was the first time? Was Tim Kono living in the penthouse?
No. Somebody else was, though.
Okay.
Or I think that's when they went to the party or whatever. The girl
that went over.
Yeah, I think that was her family's apartment. God, that feels so long ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was, season 1.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so really good episode again. I'm excited to keep watching. There are people who are suspicious, but I still don't have like a main suspect.
Yeah, it's Loretta all the way for me for now.
Yeah, I don't know. Last season we were like pretty sure for like a while, and then I feel like it did a twisty.
Mm-hmm.
And how many? There are 10 episodes. Yeah, I just feel like we have time.
Oh yeah. I'm not like all of my eggs in this basket, but it's like 70-30.
Yeah. Okay.
So for right now. But I'm never fully counting out Howard Morris because he seems like he could.
He seems like he could.
In a like passion
Sure.
or fit of rage, like pushing someone in a broken elevator shaft.
Sure. Kimber also doesn't have her hanky.
Oh, yeah. That was a big thing.
She said she did. She was like, yeah, I'll bring mine tomorrow. And then so Charles asked her after the song, and she was like, oh, no, I must have thrown it away or given it to a good cause.
Yeah, not very good acting, ma'am.
Suspicious as fuck.
Should go to more improv classes.
Yeah, super suspicious. But yeah. So that's it for episode 3. Like and subscribe. Let us know what you think. And we will check back in with you guys next week and hopefully be a little higher energy.
Yep, we're going to go to bed.
Yeah, I don't plan on staying up drinking next Monday night. So
listen,
all right.
It was a special occasion.
It was fun.
It was fun.
All right, bye.
Bye.